I was a sort of sneaky kid. You know, I liked to, everyone would leave the house and I would go through their papers. I was always a bad boy, sort of a detective type. I was always very curious. And I found, my mother was in a classical Freudian psychoanalysis in the 50s when people still did classical Freudian psychoanalysis. And she kept diaries. I found her diaries. She had hidden them in a box, in another box in the back of the closet, and so on. And I was, the most shocking thing was that I wasn't mentioned, nor was my sister. We were so peripheral to her problems. It's as if this woman had no children. But the idea of the psychoanalytic diary, and then the converse, the psychoanalytic case history. I put those two things together, and really the city is pretty much like Cleveland. I wanted to fictionalize it, so I didn't call it Cleveland. I added some elements from other cities, but it certainly was a Midwestern city, an industrial city, and so on. And there's a lot of my background. That was the kind of school I went to. That was the kind of birthday party I went to as a kid. There had been there's a scene in the book where there's a robbery at a casino nightclub. And there had been a robbery, many years before. When I was a kid, my parents were there that night. And my mother took her rings when the robbers, they were gangsters. It was basically Detroit gangsters coming down and roughing up this Cleveland guy who had the nerve to open a casino without paying them, because they wanted to control the whole Midwestern territory. So they came in just to, what they call rough up the joint, bring it down. And my mother took off her wedding engagement rings and put them in her coffin so she wouldn't have to give them, because they were going around with a bag and taking watches and wallets and purses and stuff. So that's based on fact. And but of course I updated it and changed it to suit me. And I put in a kind of character out of Rick, sort of a Rick Casablanca character. Humphrey Bogart character is the owner of the club. A little bow to cinema there. I often write about art, but I like that he's a sketch artist, but he doesn't make any claims to be a serious artist. He's very self-deprecating, but he has a very nervous hand, and that plays a big part in the story. But basically, he's gone back to his hometown to try to find out his parents' secrets. And I think we would all like to know our parents' secrets, so I hope there's sort of a universal thing there. I'm still trying to figure out my parents' secrets.